Hello programmers, it's Curtis. I like cardamom in my coffee. We're going to work on paramify. Paramify is not yet defined in the file. So, var paramify. And it's going to be a function. There we go. So it works on an empty hash. Oops. These are params. Let's call this our hash. So it works sort of on our empty hash. Now, this is where we're going to start to use the for in for a variable key. Let's call it a property, since that's what we've been referring to it in hash. Let's call this our object. And so when we loop through our properties bound to an object, and then we're going to want to parameterify them. So let's call this, let's make a var that's called our params. Starts out empty, return params. There we go. So I've set up some conditions here. This code here is not being used, as you can see, and we're going to put it into effect. Now, I have a bad habit as a programmer who never used to do TDD, in that sometimes I write lines of code that aren't tested instead of letting my test drive the line of code. You'll see that sometimes. That's just one of my bad habits. I wanted to let you know that. So when you see it, you don't think that I'm teaching you the right way. I'm actually just working myself on going in the right direction. So, given a parameter, we're going to want to get a form like this. So if we go object, and then we go proper object property, and we say equals, and we have a properties, the string value of the property, plus an equal sign, plus the object property, this is the value, that's our params. There we go. So that should work for one element. So we pass that test. Let's just show me, converts a hash with one element. Now we're on to the second part. Well, wouldn't it be nice if our params were an array? Be a little bit easier to deal with, because then we could just do params.push. Push them all on there, and params.join. And you might be thinking, hey, wait a sec, why didn't you use that with the space thing and the repeat function? Well, yeah, actually I could have. But we hadn't gotten to that yet, so I didn't think about it. Boom. Now the only one is alphabetical order. Outputs a parameter in alphabetical order. Well, it's an array. Params is an array. Hash is an unsorted unsorted object. So basically, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get the properties in a particular order. However, array is. So, one of the things, we have a couple options. Well, it'd be great if we could just go object.keys. You know, like give me your properties. I don't know if it supports that. Let's just go look into it. I'm thinking no. I know there's has prop. There's has properties. Is there? Node. That's something completely different. Has properties. Attributes is part of the DOM. So, we have this little puzzle. How can we sort parameters? Well, it's easy to do if we don't care about speed. If we don't care about speed, we just simply create a multi-dimensional array, or we can create a sparse matrix, or we can just put params push property 2 passes, and then oh, what do we know about arrays? We don't really want to do that. So for I var I equals 0, length equals params dot length, and this is essentially a map. We're doing a map operation here, except we're doing it with an array. And then we go I less than length, and I plus plus. I decided to put that on its own line, and there we go. There we go. So we're gonna just take params, and then we're gonna go params at I is equal to params at I plus equals sign plus params at I inside of object. So, if everything worked, I will have done nothing. Good. So, what I did here is I create a list of all the properties, and then I go through them. So I've broken one step into 2 steps. And now I can do something like use the sort method. Array, that's sort function. Optional, a function that defines the sort order. Params equals params dot sort. Boom. No problem. Here is some composed code. So we end up with 2 loop operations over n, so 2n operations. And then we join them together. It works. It passes our tests. And if we ever want to mess around with it, we can. If we want to optimize it, we can. But correctness is first, and then optimization. Correctness is always first. If you want to write good code, you have to get it correct first. And that's it. That's the last part in the loops. And we'll be going on to RGB, spec, and that is fun. So to do some math. Woo, math! Yay! Yay! Okay, that's all. Thank you, programmers.